Good evening, everyone. We begin with a Colorado state lawmaker accused of illegally bringing a gun into DIA will spend the night in jail. Republican Representative Lori Sain of Firestone is being held on a felony weapons charge at the downtown detention center. Now, DIA and DPD are not elaborating on what exactly Sain allegedly did wrong. But the charge in this case typically involves bringing a loaded weapon into a secure part of the airport, like a security checkpoint, without declaring it to TSA. Representative Sain is a staunch advocate for gun rights and has written gun legislation in the past. And we reached out to a spokesperson for the Colorado House of Republicans. He says they have not spoken to her and would not comment. Sain is expected to face a judge in the morning and is being held without bond tonight.
Apologies for a little misfire there. So as we were saying, the epidemic of rocks attacking innocent cars is now an international crisis. First, the target rock at Colorado Mills Mall that was high centering cars for weeks before this program's hard-hitting reporting got it moved. Now news from our northern neighbors that rocks in Canada are turning on humans. The common denominators in these senseless attacks, suburban parking lots, the scene of the crime.
It was vicious this weekend. I don't know who angered it, but the rock came out of nowhere and had 3 victims this weekend alone.
I reached this eyewitness by phone.
Brangwyn Jones, and you spell it Brangwyn.
Brangwyn lives in Calgary,
Middle of, on the west side of Canada.
Home to the latest rock to rise up against humanity.
Well, the community is devastated.
Devastated not because a killer lurks in their midst, well marked behind a curb, but because the community, in true Canadian fashion, had tried to politely and inclusively welcome the rock.
Now it's gone. We don't know where it is. That's the key. So whoever came in overnight and took it, put it somewhere, and we still have to find it. So actually, when I'm done here, I'm going to go cruise the parking lot and see if they were lazy enough to just move it over to the side, and we can reclaim it and put it in a nice memorial spot or something like that. I love it. You guys have a great time dodging rocks down in Colorado. All right, thank you, Brangwyn. See ya. Bye now.
At least the target rock never flipped one. TV news people making up silly terms that sound dramatic, like porch pirates. This is why they hate us. Whatever happened to just calling thieves thieves? I mean, if you want to be clever about the situation, do what a dad in the Stapleton neighborhood is doing. Our Danielle Grant has the story.
It's the most wonderful time of the year at Tom and Jenna Busters. A season of joy and merry magic for their little ones, August and Isla.
It definitely takes you back to when you were a kid, and you can remember the excitement of kind of those sleepless nights going into Christmas.
The tree is lit, the stockings are hung, and the gifts are on the way. That is, unless those thieves find them first. Somebody,
I thought, put forth the brilliant kind of low-tech solution of just putting decoy packages on your porch.
A genius idea from a Community Watch Facebook page. But Tom, he's taking it one step further.
I thought, well, let's go ahead and put something in there, and instead of a rock or something like that, I decided to use our 2-year-old son's dirty diapers.
Armed with a Ziploc as a glove, he plunges right in.
I went ahead and grabbed a few fresh ones here.
He's done putting up with the crap, so he's putting out the crap.
I'll find one that's nice and juicy for the porch pirates here. This one's pretty thick here.
It takes a strong stomach to handle the load in these boxes.
Yeah, the candle definitely helps kind of mask the working conditions that I have to deal with to get these packages ready to go.
He plops it in front of his door and waits for them to take the bait.
When they went home to open and check for their, what spoils they had plundered from our porch, they were in for an entirely different kind of surprise. I've got a message there for the porch pirates. Eat thieves.
And there's more where that came from.
Whether number 1 or number 2, I mean, we're going through probably 8 or 10 diapers a day at a minimum, so it's the gift that keeps on giving.
After all, it is the giving season, and Tom just wants to gift those thieves what they deserve. A stinky surprise for their dirty deeds. For Next, I'm Danielle Grant.
No one's taken the bait yet. Tom says he does have more supplies if anybody else wants to try his method.
The Denver Police Department sent out an email today warning of a new type of scam. Now, normally we would not pay any attention to something like this because it seems like just about every other day there's some sort of scam popping up that police are warning about. But this one grabbed our attention, partially because the person who wrote the press release must want a second career as a screenwriter. They wrote it like a script. So we're going to break one of the biggest news writing rules out there, and we're just going to read their press release word for word. Scene: downtown Denver bar, dimly lit, crowded. While out with her friends, Jessica, which DPD is kind enough to point out is a fictitious name, keeps her phone in her purse. She soon realizes that her phone is missing. After several failed attempts to find it that night, Jessica calls her phone in the morning and is excited to hear someone answer. The person on the other end of the line says something like,
"Hey, your phone was turned into the bar you were at last night, and I'm the manager. Can you please give me your passcode so I can ensure this is your phone?"
Jessica, feeling elated that her phone is safe, thinks for a second that maybe she shouldn't give a stranger her code, but decides to provide it since he said he was the manager at the bar where she lost it. Jessica tells him the code to verify it's her phone, and now we cue the sad music. No. Sadder than that. Perfect. Jessica has just been scammed. Little does she know the person with her phone doesn't work at the bar, and he now has access to more than her personal information. Things like her photos and her Facebook account. First, the scammer quickly changes all of her passwords so she can no longer access it. Then he moves money via the apps that she uses to reimburse her friends, like Venmo, which are tied to her bank account. Now, not only is her phone truly gone, but so is her money. End scene. And end that sad music. Now, while we do kid, we have to give props to the Denver Police Department. Press releases about scams are boring, so they had to try something new to try to get people's attention. And we have to say it worked, at least for us. For ways to present this type of scam, head to the next Facebook page.
We've had a lot of conversations here about Narcan, the drug that can help stop opioid overdoses instantly. Police officers, carry them in case they run into people who need help. But what about police officers who now carry Narcan to help dogs? Here's Noel Brennan.
Rudy has his own climate-controlled portion of the car. It's censored for heat or cold. He's got a fan and an auto eject.
The comforts of a police car.
Oh boy.
And the joy of the job.
He's ready to go to work.
Life is pretty sweet for a police dog like Rudy.
He'll probably be my last. I'm getting a little too old.
Thankfully, he's got a partner looking out for him.
Anything that happens to him, I'm right there with him.
Arvada police officer Brian Loss.
They're like no other partner there is. Never failing. Go find out.
This
Go find out.
is one of Rudy's favorite games. Find the Q-tip that smells like meth.
See how he goes everywhere?
Rudy goes where his nose takes him.
Here.
And that's what worries Brian.
Rudy.
That and dangerous opiates like fentanyl.
So this is the Narcan.
Thanks to a grant from the Colorado Attorney General's office, canine officers in Colorado now carry 2 doses of Narcan.
And that's what we use to counteract if they're exposed to severe doses of fentanyl or carfentanil.
Narcan can buy dogs exposed to opiates precious time to get to a vet.
We want to be able to save our partners' lives.
A necessary precaution an officer takes.
Hey.
For his partner.
Good boy.
For next, I'm Noel Brennan.
Here.